Hi everyone and welcome to another video on Windows 11, probably the last one in this series. The last video I did about performance on Windows 11 was inspired by the comments on an earlier video on doing a fresh Windows 11 install on unsupported hardware. This one is no different, as I also noticed many people in the comments were wondering if it was possible to use the method I explained to upgrade their current Windows 10 installation instead of doing a fresh install. Well, this is exactly what this video will cover, upgrading from Windows 10 to Windows 11 on unsupported hardware, and for this we won't even need a USB drive, which we did need for a fresh install. For all of this video I'll be using this lovely Dell Optiplex 9020. The one I have here has a Core i5-4590. It doesn't have secure boot nor TPM enabled. Let's boot up the machine and see where we are as a starting point. The version of Windows 10 installed here is Home. Take note here that upgrading from a 32-bit version will not work, but most people should be on 64-bit anyway. And as you can see, it is activated. When launching the PC Health app, which should tell me if I can perform an upgrade to Windows 11, it tells me that my PC is not compatible, which isn't really a surprise. Let's work around that. I'll be using a very similar method as in my previous video, and that is to combine the Windows 10 installer with the Windows 11 installation files. The first thing we need is the Windows 10 ISO. There are a few ways to download that. One is by using the media creation tool. Another is to let your browser tell Microsoft's website it's not a Windows machine. We'll be using that second method as it's a bit faster. So navigate to the page where you can download Windows 10. This works in the same way on both Edge and Chrome, by the way. As you can see, the website detected that we are on Windows and shows only the option to download the media creation tool. Now we can go to the developer tools in our browser. You can do this using this menu or by pressing F12 on the keyboard. Then to the three dots here, More Tools, and Network Condition. Here we can change the user agent and pretend we are on Chrome OS, for example. Anything non-Windows should do the trick. If we now refresh the page, we do get the option to download the ISO. In case you would struggle with this, you can also get the ISO by running the media creation tool, as I mentioned. We need to select the language of choice. Important to note here is that this has to match with the currently installed language version, or you will not be able to perform a proper upgrade. Then choose to download the 64-bit version. Next, we need the Windows 11 ISO as well. We can simply change the URL here. There is no need to change the user agent, as there is an option available directly to download the ISO file by default. Here again, choose the matching language and download the file. Now that we have both the ISO files, we can close our browser and open the Downloads folder. Here, let's first mount the Windows 10 ISO by double-clicking on it. As you can see, this creates a new virtual drive which has the letter E in my case. Let's create a new folder on the desktop and copy all the files from the mounted ISO to that new folder. Then we can eject the mounted ISO with a right click on the drive and eject. If we have a look in the folder we created and where we copy the Windows 10 files, in the sources subfolder we can find a file called install.wim. This is the actual Windows 10 installation source. We will replace that file with the one from the Windows 11 ISO instead. To do so, open a new window and navigate to Downloads again. This time, double-click the Windows 11 ISO. And again, as you can see, this will be mounted as a virtual CD or DVD drive. Here we also have a sources folder and an install.wim file. As mentioned, we need to copy that to the folder we created and overwrite the existing file which is there. That's all it takes for the preparation. We can now unmount the Windows 11 ISO as well. Time to start the upgrade. Simply launch setup.exe from the folder we created and where we mixed the Windows 10 and 11 ISO into a sort of Frankenstein install. Make sure to disable the option to fetch updates here and continue. In case you would see something like this means there is a mismatch with the language you chose, as I mentioned in the beginning. This is not the case here, so let's continue. As you can see, the mentioned version on the installer and the look and feel is all Windows 10, as we are using the installer from that version. But rest assured that this will upgrade to Windows 11 instead. This whole process takes some time. We can already see a Windows 11 logo here, so that's promising. There we are, the upgrade is almost complete. Let's log in, and we have to wait a bit more. Looks like all our applications and data is still here. And everything seems to be working fine. The version is now Windows 11, as you can see. Looks like the upgrade was a success.